Educaplay games automatically save scores and other data for all players who identify themselves before starting to play. You can view game reports by clicking the page icon below or by exploring the report section. Among other things, you can export the data to a file. If your game is correctly integrated with course management platforms like Google Classroom or Moodle, the scores will also be saved in the gradebook of that platform. Let's go! When a game round ends, the data is automatically saved in your report section, as long as the player is identified before playing. Your Help Center has a tutorial available that explains in detail the different ways to identify players to ensure that their game data is saved. The fastest way to view game reports is to go to the dashboard and click on the page icon below the game. This will open the report page for all games with that particular game selected. By default, it will show data for the last month, but you can use the date filters to view data from the past week, the last day, or click the funnel icon to choose the specific period you want. This chart will give you a summary of the games during the selected period. It shows the number of games played, average time, average score, and the distribution of scores. The lighter color represents the percentage of the worst scores, 0 to 25 points, and the darker color represents the best, 75 to 100 points. Scores are displayed by player, starting with the most recent game. You'll see how many games each player has played, their score in their first game, their average score, and their highest score. Clicking on each player will show a breakdown of their games. In addition to the score, you can see the date and time, and the game duration. If you have an academic or commercial plan, you will also be able to see how each player responded to each question or game element. This is useful for identifying areas where players are struggling or reviewing responses to open-ended questions. At the bottom of each report, there's an option to export the scores to a spreadsheet. At any time, by clicking the report section, you can view reports for each player, challenges, and games you've played yourself with your profile. In the player report, you can select which player you want to view. It will show all the games they've played for each game, from the most recent to the oldest. Remember, in the report section, you will only be able to view scores for games created by you. Therefore, we recommend not sharing links to games from other users, because you won't be able to see the data for those games. It's better to create a copy of that game, publish it as your own, and share the link to that version of yours. In the challenge reports, results will be displayed in the same order they appear on the challenge page, from highest to lowest score, and, in case of a tie, from the shortest to longest time. Keep in mind that in any report, it will always show games from the past month unless you change the time filter. In addition to the icon below the game and the direct link in the menu, there are other shortcuts to specific parts of your report section. For example, in the My Guest section, when one of your guests completes their first game, a button appears to directly view all their game data. We explain everything about the My Guest section in a dedicated tutorial. From the My Challenges section, you can directly access challenge reports by clicking Options and then View Full Results. From the Challenge Play page, you also have a button to access the report. Finally, if you open a link to one of your games, you'll find the page icon to view the reports, and you can also do it by clicking the View All Results button under the top 10 results. You can reset the top 10 results for any of your games from the My Games section. Simply click the More Options button, the three dots, and select Reset Rankings. If you don't want this top 10 to appear at all, you have an advanced option in the editor to hide it. Remember, resetting the rankings does not affect the report section. It will always show the results from all your games, filtered by the time period you choose. If your game is properly integrated with Google Classroom, a Microsoft Teams class, or any course management platform via LTI, the game scores will not only be saved in that platform's gradebook, but also in the Educaplay report section along with all other data.